Vince versus Shadowland Magazine number 7.
Hey everybody, I am Vince of Geekvolution, and welcome to Vince versus! Vince versus what? Another issue, because I've done one before, of Shadowland Magazine. That's right, Shadowland Magazine. Oh boy, was I excited to receive this. Now we did a, what do you call that? We did a mailbag day in which we included this because the person who sent us this time, I do believe the first time it was sent to us by the editor, and this time it was sent to us by the cover artist of Shadowland Magazine, Dwayne Pinkney. Now, I really enjoy, I spoke very highly of the man's covers, because he does one for the front, and he does some virgin art for the back. I love that. So, he does some really nice stuff. Now, that guy, we already showed these, but just to kind of give you an update, I guess, they are now framed and, well, while I'm not holding them at the moment, but they're now framed and hanging in my office. So, I got quite a big kick out of that. So, thank you, Mr. Pinkney. Now, oh yeah. So I was really pleased by that, and of course, still, I will speak very highly of the covers, because it's very pretty art, it's very well-made art, and I can't thank you enough. So, and he also sent us issue number, which issue is this? Number 7 of Shadowland Magazine. Again, it's a quarterly magazine, and I highly support people picking up a subscription to this, or just buying an issue here and there, because it's really worthwhile. It's this interesting, for those of you who didn't watch the first one, I'll give you a little rundown of what it is. Shadowland Magazine is a magazine that's devoted to science fiction, horror, fantasy, a lot of these geeky, maybe genre types, we'll call them. So, types of movies, books, video games, music, whatever. There are things in here that I'd never heard of before I started reading Shadowland Magazine, and I really enjoy this stuff. So I really enjoy finding out what is out there. Apparently, I had no idea, but apparently there is this entire genre of luchador movies where these wrestlers and frequently fight mummies. Interesting. So the big thing that I like about this book is, and I said it the first time I did a review, and now they're starting to move more towards it. This is starting to become a very film book. This is starting to become academic in nature, and I'm pleased by that. It's still accessible, though. You don't have to be a film major to get a kick out of this stuff. Really, what these guys are doing largely is giving you a history on things that don't tend to get history articles. They're giving you information on things that you may not otherwise have heard of. Thereby, this magazine is doing something really interesting. I love that. I love to know things. Like for example, not to talk poorly of Fangoria, but Fangoria largely just tells you about what new slasher picks are coming out, what new gory movies are coming out, things of this kind. Which that has its place, but for me, maybe I'm a little more off the beaten path. Maybe that's where my interests lie. Because this stuff, maybe I have been described as the, like my figure collection is kind of the island of misfit toys or something like that, but I do tend to like things that are a little less popular, which is not necessarily something to be proud of, but this sort of satisfies that urge for me to know a little bit more about some of these off the beaten path type things. Or even like this particular magazine has this particular issue has stuff in the back about Topps trading cards, specifically the Fright Flicks cards, and I just find that interesting. I find it because I have a few of these things, and I never really knew much about them, but now I know largely everything. So these guys' histories are really interesting. Now, that being said, I do have one criticism to say about this particular issue anyway. There isn't a lot of point to some of these articles. So we'll get a lot of histories, we'll get a lot of retrospectives, but they aren't driving towards anything that's trying to prove a point or discuss a theme. We do get some in some of these retrospectives, like for example, they have quite a sizable retrospective of well, Planet of the Apes. So there's a big history on it here, and they do small analyses of these movies, brief, very brief. So, and that's not the point, but they're trying to give you, the point is that they're giving you a history. So there is a point to them, but they're not trying to argue any point. They're not trying to, it's not like there's no purpose to a retrospective, but there's no, essentially, topic. There's no thesis statement. And what's interesting to me is that, and this isn't me just trying to give props to the guy that sent me a couple prints, which, thank you again, but Pinckney's article in here on the acting of the Incredible Hulk, i.e. Lou Ferrigno, has frequently been overlooked. And, you know, it hadn't occurred to me that anyone really cared. You know, I enjoyed the Hulk to some extent, and reading this article made me go, you know what, he's got a point. Why? Because he develops a thesis statement. He says that the Hulk really is, or the Hulk, Lou Ferrigno really does do some interesting non-verbal acting here. A lot of this stuff is physical. A lot of his emotion comes through his face and his physicality. Now, maybe the lack thereof that people tend to see is more of an unfortunate byproduct of genre TV shows of the time period. Maybe that's what it is. But essentially, Pinckney argues that Lou Ferrigno is a decent actor, or is a good actor, and that he's kind of been given the shaft over the years. Fair enough. And he also pulls episodes and pulls information from episodes to support that point. Bravo! That's very academic, and I'm highly pleased by that. So the more thesis statements or more topics that we can get in these in this article or in the articles within this magazine, just the happier I am, and the more interesting, well-researched retrospectives, the happier I am. So I love what this magazine has to offer, and I just kind of wish there was more arguments being made about the things of which they've researched so heavily. Because I feel like you guys have done the research. You really know your topic, and I just feel like there needs to be a point that you drive towards with this. Like, I appreciate you letting me know about it, but I kind of want to know what you think. So, not just, do you think they're cool, but what do you think about it? What's significant about it? What about that should I know that'll make me appreciate this on a deeper level, not just that it exists. So again, thank you everyone at Shadowland Magazine, and thank you cover artist Wayne Pinckney. So thank you guys. I'm Vince of Geekvolution. You've been watching Vince Versus. We'll catch you next time.